Hello everyone, welcome to the Imperial HoloNet. I'm JID123,
And I'm Ridley Antilles.
and today we are doing another Star Wars book review. We are going to discuss Darth Bane, Path of Destruction, the first of the Bane trilogy. I recently just finished reading the audiobook, listening to the audiobook a few days ago. I think it was yesterday. I just finished yesterday. And overall, I really enjoyed it. Thought it was really cool, and lots of insight into the ways of the Sith, the dark side, and just all that good.
And the Jedi.
And the Jedi too.
This is surprisingly pro-Jedi. It's not like a Karen Travis thing where it's bashing them.
Oh no, I feel for
Lord
the guy.
Hoth is amazing.
I feel for that guy. He's like
Yeah, he's probably my favorite Jedi now. Him and Obi-Wan.
Lord Hoth. He just
Well,
sounds,
actually, his apprentice in the sequel is probably one of my favorites as well.
I haven't gotten that part yet, but yeah, I feel bad for Lord Hoth. Like, I think
Yeah, you would have, I think, by where you are in the book.
probably,
Joe.
or maybe I have, yeah. But I think of him as sort of like General Patton as a Jedi, and with a beard.
Yeah, he's totally Patton, or he's
We're gonna take those Sith by the balls, and we're gonna kick them in the ass. We're gonna get the heck out of them all the time, and we're gonna go through them like crud through a goose. Oh, but yeah,
just amazing. Yeah, let's get into Bane himself.
Bane.
This is just such a great book. It's such a good character study. And it doesn't like pull its punches, but it's not telling you what to think necessarily. It just is talking about Bane's philosophy and everything. And
Which I actually kind of agree with, at least in terms if I were a Sith Lord. Not because I'm a Sith Lord, but sorry about that, folks. I can't control what goes on outside my house. Hopefully,
yeah, I love how there's a really slow build to him falling black. Like I love how even when he's a Sith for like a year, he still regrets killing somebody in cold blood.
yeah, that I found that interesting. How at first he's kind of like I'm not sure if I like this whole dark side thing. I like also how it starts out with him like.
And the description of like how sick he feels when he uses the dark side.
I like how he starts out like as like this protege, but then eventually he like stops and comes to a standstill, and then everyone starts catching up with him again.
Yeah, I love that. And then, in the end, he learns to be smarter than everyone, and he becomes a manipulator, which the Sith have lost. And a lot of this relies on, how different Khan's Brotherhood of Darkness is from the normal Sith.
Oh yeah, I mean, first of all, egalitarianism and Sith I don't think go together well. I learned that from this book. Khan's whole every Sith is equal, even though we are probably totally not equal.
Yeah.
That's like, and Bane's like, yeah, that's not how the Sith works, dude. It's one guy at the top, everyone else at the bottom. Or in his case...
Well, everyone else trying to vie for his power until he is weak and is killed.
Exactly. That's how Revan did it, that's how Malak did it, that's how Vish...
Well, that's not how Malak did it.
No, that's true.
That's the entire point with Malak. That's why he's such a great villain, is because he's a villain for the Jedi because he's evil, and for the Sith because he is a coward.
That is true. I mean, well, that's how Revan did it, at least in Vitiate. Well, Vitiate's just insane.
Well, he had nobody to take down, though.
That's true.
Except for Mandalore, the ultimate, I guess, kind of. But yeah, I love how good the continuity stuff is in this book. There's a lot of great setup. I love the
I think it's a better written book than Plagueis, if you think about it.
I genuinely think this is probably the greatest Star Wars novel, if not Rule of Two, beating it out slightly, but...
I'll have to read Rule of Two. I'll have to get through Rule of Two first, but yeah.
Like, this book, it takes its time for starters. It's a really massive book. It's 400 pages, but it takes its time. And another thing that just does super well is it's really intense, even when there's not an action scene. Like, there's an entire chapter that is just Des, because that's Bane's true name, talking with some Republic soldiers.
Ooh, yeah, that was good.
Playing Sabacc. And it's probably it's more intense than any other chapter. And there's not a single punch is thrown.
Oh yeah, even though it comes close.
Exactly, it's so brilliant.
Let's see how Bane's such a big fella.
And I love how you get his philosophy. Like, I love when he points out a lot of the flaws in the Jedi Order, or...
Council?
Well, no, the entire Order.
No, that's true.
And the fact that, they're pretty much using these guys and manipulating them, trying to find the line, but...
I love how Bane speaking of his philosophies, I love how Bane talks about the dark side like a poison and how it's dispersed. It can't really be effective, but if it's concentrated, then it can kill you. And that's so true because that's how poison works. Like, I mean, obviously, all poison is bad. Never take even a little bit of poison. But if it's dispersed enough, it might affect you a little bit, but it ain't gonna kill you. Compared to a, like, highly concentrated dose of whatever. And that's so true, and that's why I think the Bane...
I love this. The Sith are an illegal organization. The Senate passed a bill outlining them nearly 3,000 years ago, shortly after Revan and Malak brought destruction to the entire galaxy. I always heard that Revan saved the galaxy. Like, Revan's story's complicated. It's like, yeah.
I like the idea of the Sith banning the Sith. Like, we passed this bill to ban an organization we can totally ban just with this legislation. That works.
Well, I guess it's to prevent Dark Jedi, which makes sense.
I know. That is funny. It's funny because, like, it never works.
I know.
But yeah, I love that. I like the Brotherhood of Darkness as well. I mean, not, I don't like them, but I find their philosophy interesting, even though heavily flawed. Because the whole point of the Sith is, again, you're not supposed to be equal. You're supposed to be fighting at the top. The Sith are a hierarchy, not an egalitarian system.
Well, but we all know the Republic cares. I love that, like, the Republic is just manipulating these people, and I'm trying to find the,
Look what they do.
Oh yeah, like, you pay Oro for the Cortis. The credits don't make it all the way down to guys like me. See, the problem with the Republic, in the core, everything's great. People are healthy, wealthy, and happy. But out here on the Rim, things aren't so easy. I've been working the mines almost as long as I can remember, in one way or another, and I still Oro enough credits to fill a freighter hall. But I don't see the Jedi coming to save me from that little bit of injustice.
Well, that's true.
Don't try and sell your Jedi. Don't try and sell me your Jedi and your Republic, because that's exactly what it is. Your Republic. You say the Sith only respect strength. Well, that's pretty much the way things are out here in the Rim too. You look out for yourself because nobody else will. That's why the Sith keep finding new recruits who are willing to join them out here. People with nothing, people feel like nothing. They've got. Or people with nothing feel like they've got nothing to lose. And if the Republic doesn't figure that out pretty soon, the Brotherhood of Darkness is going to win this war, no matter how many Jedi are leading your army.
I love that because that's so the Republic. Like even any canon, any era, even the newer one, it's always we think of the Republic as this one entity, but in reality, it's just these core worlds which have all the nice stuff.
Well, it is one entity. It is just an entity. It is just a political organization.
I know, but it's like, but still, sort of like the states, or like, I guess the states, or like, well, the richer planets are the big bosses. They're like the U.S., Europe. They're the nice ones, and then you've got everybody else who's like Africa, Middle East, and South America. They're the third world planets. I know that sounds insulting, but it's kind of true.
Well, yeah, and of course, well, it's more, because those countries aren't necessarily involved with America and Europe and whatnot. It's more countries that are more under their thumb, sort of thing. Kind of like better example would be, what do you call it? Puerto Rico during the imperialism and whatnot.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, and what I like is Revan makes some really good points that aren't even anti-Republic. Just the Republic has to fix these problems, or else, things will get out of hand.
And they did. Many years later.
That was a long time before this, though.
I know. I'm just saying. Just because something happened 1,000
years. But that was before the Republic, though.
That's true.
That predates the Republic.
Oh, I was mentioning more like the Clone Wars and stuff, but yeah. I can't wait to get to book 2 because I know about the Ruusan Reformations just from out of hand conversations I've seen with other people.
Ruusan Reformations are really interesting.
I know, but I don't want to talk about them just yet because that's not part of the book.
Yeah, I really like how it sets up why, and it doesn't act like the Brotherhood of Darkness is good.
Mm-hmm.
Bane's not saying the Brotherhood of Darkness is good. He understands how evil and disgusting they are. It's a matter of this is why they exist.
Right.
And that being the problem.
I like also how Bane at first seems like a person who I don't want to say he would have friends, but he's like Giffany's like the closest thing at first.
Oh no, that Duros guy probably.
Yeah, the Duros guy.
And Cordis. Oh, not Cordis. Kasim.
Kasim. That's how the audiobook pronounces it. Kasim are kind of like his friends and mentors. But then at the end, he turns on them, obviously, because, that's what the Sith do. They gotta weed out the weak. And
they were weak, and they deserve to die.
Exactly. That's the way of the Sith. That's especially the Bane Sith.
But yeah, and I love how this book does not agree with the Sith. It gets their philosophy, it explores it, but it's not, like, whining about how evil the Jedi are. It gets why the light side is good. Like, I love all the stuff with Lord Hoth, and
Lord Hoth to me,
tempted by the dark, and he's probably the best character in the book.
I love Lord Hoth because I like how almost radical he is in his devotion to the light, that he's kind of turning into the thing he hates.
Oh yeah, he totally starts to lose it, and what's great is, with a lot of Jedi, with the light side, he always turns back.
Right.
There's always hope for him, while the Sith, with Bane, he just falls deeper and deeper. And heck, you can make that with Lord Khan, where he just falls deeper and deeper to the point of madness where he blows himself up.
Right.
What's the point of your cause if you end up destroying yourself in the end and being replaced with, of course, genuinely smart Sith like Bane?
Right. Yeah, Khan. Is it Khan or Khan?
Khan.
Is Khan as in Rathacon Khan?
It's K-A-A-N.
Okay, so it's Khan, which is funny because in the audiobook they actually give him a Spanish accent. They give a lot of characters here a Spanish accent. Khan is interesting to me because I feel like his ideology blinds him too, but he's so charismatic. I liked how they describe him as having a mystical hold over his fellow Sith.
How much of that is him being genuinely charismatic or manipulative with the Force?
That too. Probably both. I don't know. That'd be interesting to figure out. It's probably the Force, though, because Bane was able to... and remember that one scene where he and Bane are talking near the end when they're going to go into the cave?
Oh, they're like both trying to Force manipulate each other?
Right. And I think Bane won.
Oh, yeah, totally, because he didn't, explodify.
Explodify. It's true. Which actually is funny, because I remember looking up a comic that deals with Lord Khan, because I think he appears in some comics.
Jedi vs. Sith, which is an adaptation of the Battle of Ruusan.
Okay, so then I was right, because they actually do show him turning into a mummy figure.
I always saw Githany's death in my giant black Star Wars encyclopedia.
Oh, yikes. That's scary. Poor Githany. I actually kind of felt sorry.
Let's talk about Githany. She's pretty much like everything wrong with the Sith in a lot, or with everything she's saying. It starts off with a lot of the reasons why a lot of us say that the Sith aren't pure evil, but in the end she kind of is that.
Right.
Or not is that, but she's not like Naga Sadow or somebody who's is genuinely evil in a way you can understand at least. Okay, he's really cool and interesting. He's just completely insane and radical. With her, it's like, she's right. Emotions matter, but to her, it's only emotions so that she can manipulate people. So she says that emotions are important, but in the end, it's important only in the fact that she can manipulate people with emotions. So in the end, does she actually care about passion, or does she only care about passion in the sense that she can manipulate it in others?
Yeah.
And that's what's great. Does she actually have passion? I don't think so. I think she just cares about manipulating. Well, she starts to realize that, and then in the end, Bane kills her.
Right. No, she dies from the fire.
Well, yeah, Bane kills her because he offers her a chance, and then doesn't go in to save her or anything.
That's true. That's right. So
he doesn't give a crap because she failed.
She screwed up.
She was weak, and she deserved to die.
Exactly. That's pretty much the theme of this movie. You're weak. You deserve to die. First Bane. Let's see who else.
Of course, but that's what's good about the Sith is all of their deaths are really meaningless until of course until Darth Bane starts his rule of 2, in which case every Sith death it's almost an honor, because by being killed that means that you have trained your apprentice to the point that they have surpassed you. Your death means that you have continued the Sith line better than your master did.
Oh yeah, that's definitely true.
You know,
Especially
it's an honor. You live on. You will be part of this whole that will destroy the Jedi one day.
Bane turns death from a weakness to an honor. That's the thing about Bane. That's what he did.
He's brilliant. It was supposed to be like that. Is the thing.
Right.
You know, back in the day, they would get, you know, if somebody was a strong warrior, they would give them an honorable death. It wasn't like the Mandalorians where they always fought with honor, but if somebody wasn't a coward, they would honor them still.
Right.
They wouldn't play fair, but they still showed at least some respect, if nothing else. And Bane doesn't show respect. I mean, I love how Bane is just not the mad attack dog or crazed lunatic like a lot of these other Sith are.
No.
Like,
he's not Palpatine. He's not like a psycho.
huh?
He's not Palpatine, who just loves killing people.
Well, no, he is.
Right.
Because he doesn't kill people needlessly, nor does Palpatine.
Oh, okay.
They don't kill for pleasure, they kill because it's important and needed for their situation.
Okay.
He is Palpatine, he's the manipulator. Like, that's what I said, he's not a wild attack dog.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Because how is he a wild attack dog? He's brilliant. Like, he even tells, I mean, I know this is going into the sequel, but he talks about this in the first one, but it's more important in the sequel, with Zana, where he's telling her, you know, about how he doesn't kill unnecessarily because, you know, a Sith who kills for the sake of killing is not a Sith. He is just he's just a tool of the dark side and nothing more.
Right.
The dark side is their tool.
Speaking of the tools of the dark side, do you ever get the feeling the book kind of made the Brotherhood of Darkness kind of small? I don't know. I feel like they wiped them all out in one big boom. Like, what happened to the rest?
Because there was 3 years straight of them all dying. There was about like 200 of them in that cave.
That is true.
Plus, you have to remember there were still Umbara Shadow Assassins.
Oh, okay. So they're still
who may or may not show up in Rule of 2.
Okay, they're still mopping up some of the remnants of
Yep.
the Brotherhood of Darkness Empire. Not the Sith, obviously, but you know the grunts and the officers.
Yeah, or just low-level Force users. But yeah, and I really like how they set up. Like they got to a logical point where everyone would be on a single planet.
Oh yeah, I love that idea of like Lord Hoth forming the Army of Light.
Lord Hoth is just the coolest. Like, I love how he's Revan, but never falls fully to the dark side.
He and Revan would make an interesting. I would love it. He and Revan ever met.
Oh yeah, because Revan's all about the gray and Force, quote unquote true balance. But Hoth understands it a lot better, where he understands that by doing that you'll never actually be able to achieve balance. You'll pretty much just be hated on by both sides.
Right.
Like, instead of trying so hard to strive for a balance that doesn't exist, Hoth knows that the Sith... Because the thing is, this is kind of consistent with the Lucas idea for the Sith, which is they are... balance in the Force is killing the Sith.
Right.
The dark side's technically natural, but at the same time it's unnatural. Like, it's inherent, but not natural. It's a perversion of the light. There will always be a perversion of light, but you have to make sure that it never grows.
Right.
And that's kind of what Khan does. Or not Khan. Well, I guess Khan does do that in the end.
Khan. We're mixing up Khan and Hoth, but...
No. Khan does so.
That's true. That's true.
He's the one who activates the thought bomb. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
He kills his own fucking army.
That must be so sad for Khan. And just like, I give up.
Well, he doesn't fully give up. We rule it too.
Well, that's true. Oh, I can't wait to read that. But I like how in the end...
Well, you would have just read what happened.
Well, that's true. I like how in the end, though, how Hoth gets a redemption because of the dream of his old master.
Well, not a dream, I guess, an actual Force ghost. And I love that. Yeah, his friend, coming to him as a Force ghost and saying,
it's his master,
let Farfalla help out and everything. And I really love that.
Yeah.
That he in the end, he starts to become selfish. He starts to become involved in his hate, and like a true Jedi, he pulls himself back in the end.
I am a Jedi.
The light redeems him because he still holds to his ideals, and I love that whole thing of like how sad it is, but at the same time really kind of prideful of they get 100 Jedi to volunteer. Like, he won't force anyone to do it,
it's his
and like he
Skywalker
starts picking off people who he thinks are too weak and he doesn't want to get killed, or he thinks are too young and he doesn't want them unnecessarily to die. Mm-hmm. And so he gets 100, or he gets 99 volunteers to go with him.
I know, I love that.
I love that whole thing of the thought bomb will get activated on a more populated planet. So they can't let Lord Khan escape. So he has to force somebody to kill him. Like he has to force himself, somebody to make him commit suicide, pretty much. And that's so sad, but it's amazing. And I love the fact that we find out I love the scene starting right after, when he goes and they clash blades and the thing explodes and it kills them all. But they get to die knowing that they're saving every single life on Coruscant or on Alderaan or on any populated planet. That by 100 of them dying, they're saving billions and trillions, and that makes it worth it.
I know.
And that's what's great about the Jedi, and that's what the Jedi should be. And without the Council's bureaucracy and everything, that's why Lord Khan's great. He's kind of like Leia, but for this era.
I love that scene too because I love how he only takes volunteers. Like everybody willing to go, and I like that. Or good.
Oh yeah, I love that where he's volunteers and everyone walks forward, and he's like, no, I can't do that. He doesn't want to bring them all. Oh, and I love how he doesn't let Farfalla help.
Poor Farfalla. What did you think of Farfalla?
He doesn't want to die.
That's true. I was a big mixed at first about Farfalla, but by the end I really liked it.
But that's the point.
Yes, I know. That's true. He's like he's more like Hoth's conscience, I guess.
Mm-hmm. That's what's great, judging him and realizing in the end that he is a good person.
Also, I love the dream again because it's like his Luke Skywalker moment of I am a Jedi, like my father before me, except
his dream is more his he must go to the Dagobah system.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's a mix of the must go to the Dagobah system.
So the I'm a Jedi thing is more when he fights Lord Khan.
Oh, that's true. Let's see, what else could we talk about? Oh yeah, I remember you telling me when we talked about this book a couple times, Bane riding a Rancor.
Oh yeah, Bane rides a Rancor. It's amazing. All the stuff with the Unknown World is great. The fact that he learns from Revan. In fact, he goes through a lot of teachers, and especially in the sequel, he goes and finds he goes to that moon of Onderon and finds Fruden Mad's grave, and that's how he gets the obelisk armor. He goes to some other Sith woman's grave on Tython. It's really cool. He just is collecting Sith artifacts and stuff.
Learning the true ways of the Sith, not the polluted con ways. I like the scene also where he claims the title of Darth for the first time. That was good. Like
Bane, it's Darth Bane.
Yeah.
The whole thing of you're all cowards and whatnot. Oh, it's brilliant.
I know.
And plus, him going out and journeying for the Sith.
I like how he
and them saying, "Oh no, all the Sith are dead. They're weak." And it's no, it's not because the Jedi looted the place that they left. It's because these are not the Sith. Right. So the Sith spirits have left.
The Sith spirits.
I love that they've abandoned Korriban for the time being. And what's great is a lot of them come back by the time of Legacy because the Sith have been rejuvenated.
Oh, the Sith spirits, you mean? Yes.
Yeah.
I always find that is cool. I like that. That is interesting. Then the spirits,
including Bane.
Oh yeah, actually they come back by Clone Wars if you consider Bane's reappearance in Clone Wars. Sorry. But yeah. This is a good book. Highly recommend it for everybody.
When we do Rule of Two, we'll probably get a little bit more in depth.
Yeah.
Because I feel a lot of the philosophy, I love how they set up the Rule of Two, but a lot of that philosophy really becomes majorly important to the series. But it's important here, but it's being set up. He has had his revelation, and then of course, Rule of Two is all about putting that to the test and workshopping it.
Right.
So buy this book. Just it's. I always held off on it. I was if everyone recommends it. It is legitimately the best Star Wars novel ever, save for me. Well, no, it's better than Shatterpoint. Shatterpoint's probably the only thing other than this that I think is completely flawless.
Would you recommend it to newcomers?
No.
Okay. So
I'd recommend Splinter of the Mind's Eye or something.
Okay, dokie. But yeah, this is a good book, and hope you enjoy. See ya.